Hey guys, my name is Jared Vandermeer, and in this episode, I'm talking about exactly what you need to get a content creation agency started with $0. It's going to be a fun one. Stick around. Let's go. So starting a content creation agency with $0. It's not impossible. What I mean by that is we already all have these devices, our phones. They shoot 4K video, they take amazing HDR photos, they do all of these complex things for us that as a professional photographer or content creator, you have to learn how to use a DSLR or mirrorless camera properly in order to execute fantastic content. You need gimbals, you need DSLRs, you need everything. So this episode is really about how we're going to create a content creation agency for $0 to get started. And then as you grow, what you're going to need to put into your equipment portfolio to really take off. Number one, you got a phone. The next step is to have the software in order to execute the fantastic content creation for clients. Normally, if you had your content creation agency going, I would recommend the Adobe suite of apps. Lightroom on your phone can do absolutely phenomenal things in terms of converting your HDR photos directly on your phone to content you can send directly to clients. But starting for $0, there's other tools out there that you can use. I've done a bunch of YouTube shorts on Lightroom alternatives, and I'm going to put the list beside me here. They have a lot of the same tools as Lightroom, and then I'm also going to put one at the bottom for Photoshop. This is a Photoshop alternative on your browser that is going to help you edit content and even learn Photoshop before you start spending money on Creative Cloud. Number two, you have to gain context. One of the mistakes I made early on when creating content is I created content that I thought was good. The key word there. And oftentimes clients will want you to make content that they think is good. But more often than not, that content flops. It flops hard. And the reason for that is it's not organic to the platforms that you're posting on. If you want to post an Instagram reel, today, there's a lot of trends in terms of photos going back and forth or cinematic style travel videos that capture attention. That's what the audience wants to see. TikTok, if you aren't going to get on some of the trends, if you're not going to do mini dances, if you're not going to try to engage that TikTok audience, you are going to flop. So start scrolling to gain context. Download TikTok, download Instagram, download Vero. Go through, I'll put in the cards above other social media apps that are hot right now. Download them all and scroll. Understand what the modern audience is looking for, specifically in shorter form content, so that you can make that content that works for your clients. 3, just mentioned it, short form videos. Advertising and branding is changing to really be focused on 15 seconds or less. Younger audiences are looking for more value in the content that you create faster so that they can watch more of it. Now, if you don't believe me, let me list some of these out. YouTube Shorts, TikTok, Instagram Reels, Facebook just added Reels. You got Vero with short form videos. Then you got other apps like Byte and Dubsmash and Triller. All of these are short form video content platforms. Now, don't get me wrong, as a content creator, you're going to have to understand how to take your content to 1 minute to 30 minutes and create these stories in this environment that captures attention and holds it. But the art right now, what I want you to practice right now in creating a content creation agency is the hook and then holding attention for 15 seconds. If you can do that, you're going to create content that captivates the algorithms of today and gets your clients more reach. Number 4, a portfolio. I talk about this in a lot of my videos. And as a content creator specifically, what's working for me today is Instagram DMs. Really, that's the only thing I'm using. I used to walk door to door. I don't do that anymore. I'm really focused on finding people local to me, finding content that relates to the portfolio and style that I want to create, and then messaging people and getting into kind of the groups of people that are willing to come out and meet me to make that content. One thing that works for me is getting into actor groups, people that are looking for headshots, people that are looking to be part of unique content and try different things that they can use for their own portfolios. So without a portfolio, you will find yourself chasing clients, going after them, and really trying to service their exact vision. You have a really tough time showing off your creativity in the content, and you'll be constantly battling that process. In comparison to with a portfolio, with your own style, what you're going to be able to do is clients are going to come to you. Clients that like your style are going to come to you, and they're going to want your style, which means you get to then go create what you love to create for them. And they're going to be relatively happy with it. Not saying the revisions aren't going to happen, but it's a lot easier if you have a portfolio built and those clients are approaching you. And finally then, getting clients. How do we get clients for our content creation agency? My recommendation here, when you're getting started, if you're already started, it's a little bit different story. But when you are just starting for $0 and you're trying to find clients, what you need to do is niche down. So if you're getting a content creation agency started and you're looking at making things like videos and you want to take photos and you want to do drone photography and you want to make commercials and you want to make YouTube videos, that's fine. The skill set will translate to all of these different items. But when you're starting, pick one niche. And it's going to help you convince clients, one, because you're going to be a master at that one specific niche. Example, if you're a photographer and you do a ton of wedding photography, stick to wedding photography, get into that, meet people, and then as it expands, as you grow, as you gain an audience, you're going to be able to divert that off. Do a little bit of corporate photography, a little bit of corporate videography. You're going to be able to do those types of things. Niche down, it's going to help you find your first clients as you're reaching out. And I guess number 6, after you get everything started, what else do you need other than your phone and getting onto the browser to use some of these free tools that we mentioned above? Well, one, again, Adobe Suite of Apps. They're still the holy grail of all of content creation software that's out there. I know there's other ones, but at the end of the day, it's more refined, it's a little bit easier, and I find that it's worth the cost for our team to have the Adobe Suite of Apps. Then you're going to need to expand your equipment base. Today I'm shooting on a Sony a7R III and a Sony a7 III. Getting a mirrorless camera that shoots 4K and 1080p in 120 frames per second is going to be essential for you to start making better and better content. The reason is on the mirrorless cameras, the sensor is bigger. So even if you got a GoPro, the GoPro and your phone are relatively comparable by modern standards in terms of sensor size. GoPro's a little bit bigger, but the result is roughly the same. A mirrorless DSLR with a 35mm sensor is a lot bigger and a lot better in low light. And for the cinematic experience that does so well with modern content, being able to shoot in low light with lower ISO values, keeping the noise level down, is going to help you make better content. Then you got the tripods, the gimbals, all of that other stuff. Getting a DJI Mini helps out a lot. It helps you create another perspective that other people can't do. Remember, the new iPhone has a cinematic video feature. They can create depth of field on phones now. So you have to find ways to stand out. Things like the drone, things like an Insta360, things like wide angle on a GoPro, and then all these other items help you stand out and do things that phones still can't do. All right, guys, that's it for this episode. I went a little longer than I wanted to, but I think if you're trying to start a content creation agency right now, this is a good summary of what you need in order to get started for $0. Over time, content creation gets expensive. So understand that after that portfolio is made, after you start getting clients, after you're able to niche up, then it makes a lot of sense to start charging the appropriate rates and time for your content. As always, guys, I hope this episode helps. See you next time.